Right, Shalom, giving all praise and all glory unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and sincere Shalom to your Akim who pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and in sincerity. This is the brother Caleb coming back to you with another message. This is for you Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, you true Israelites. You're truly the descendants of the man in the Bible named Jacob, who was then named Israel. But also this message is for anybody who may look like any of the other 17 nations, but they believe in the names of Yahweh and Yahushai, and they believe in the totality of the 1611 King James Bible and the true doctrine of Yahweh and Yahushai. Then you too might be an Israelite, because Israel has been scattered amongst all nations, so therefore we look like all peoples. However, your nationality is determined by the seed line of your father, pertaining to Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. So this lesson is going to be another lesson on the judgment of Yahweh and how Edomites never give any credit or even acknowledge there being a higher power. So this is a story I was just reading on the Mirror news website. It says, man paralyzed from neck down after eating undercooked chicken at a restaurant. So this is straight up judgment from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So let's get into it, okay? It says, Richard Jackson from Brighton suffered mild food poisoning, but it triggered a rare condition that caused his immune system to attack his spine and left him in a wheelchair. As you can see, this guy looks like he could, most probably is an Edomite, but his actions will probably expose him for who he is. So, first of all, most Jake, they don't like eating undercooked meat. Eating undercooked meat is quite an Edomite tendency. And that again goes back to your forefather Esau, who he wanted to sell his birthright for uncooked meat, which is the red pottage that Jacob was preparing. So maybe I should just bring this up for edification's sake. Genesis 25, let's see. I want to start from. Let's start from about 15. No, that's not what I want. Yes, Genesis 25. Here we go. Yeah, this is what I want. So basically, let me make a point. You so-called white people, you're not white people. White is a made-up term, and black is a made-up term. There's no such thing as white people and black people. In the Table of Nations, which is in the book of Genesis, I believe Genesis chapter 10, it gives you the breakdown of, let me see, 14 nations. 14 nations are documented in Genesis chapter 10. 2 more nations are documented in Genesis chapter, is it 18 or 19, when it talks about Lot bringing forth Moab and Ammon. And the final 2 nations are Jacob and Esau, and those were brought forth in Genesis chapter 25. So altogether there's 18 nations of people on this planet Earth, and every nation has a name. So let's get into this account, because as I said, there's no such thing as white people. You white people are actually Edomites, and us descendants of Jacob were Israelites, yeah? So I'm going to start here, and it says, and when her, Genesis 25 and 24, talking about Rebekah when she was pregnant with Jacob and Esau. So it says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Now Esau, the name Esau means wasted away is he. The reason why they called his name Esau, or in the Hebrew Asashua, is because he had no melanin. Basically, he was completely leprous, because to have no melanin in your skin is what's known as biblical leprosy. So basically, and after that came out his brother, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. Now let's get into this. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was the cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Now here's the point. It says in Genesis 25 and 29, it says, and Jacob sod pottage, and Esau came in from the field and was faint. It's luckier. And Esau said unto Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. And therefore was his name called Edom, because he ate that red pottage, and also because his blood shows forth through his skin. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am to the point where I am about to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So basically, it's in the nature of you Edomites to eat raw uncooked meat. Yeah, and I just brought out the account now, so let's get back to this article. Man paralysed from neck down after eating undercooked chicken at a restaurant. Richard Jackson from Brighton suffered mild food poisoning, but it triggered a rare condition that caused his immune system to attack his spine and left him in a wheelchair. So it says, an IT analyst was left paralysed from the neck down after he ate undercooked chicken in a restaurant. Richard Jackson suffered mild food poisoning, but it triggered a severe autoimmune condition after he fell ill last December. The condition was called transverse myelitis attacked his spine, and he ended up being put in a coma and give him the best chance of survival. So basically, this guy ate this undercooked meat, and Yahweh Bashem Yahshua brought judgment on his ass for whatever it is he done, either in this life, in a past, in a past life, because reincarnation is biblical. Whatever it is he done, Yahweh used this situation to bring his judgment upon this man. So basically, this man was put into a coma. So let's continue. It says the 39-year-old from Brighton had been in London for a week and had eaten at several restaurants when he fell foul to the undercooked poultry. He sought medical help after he had difficulty walking and was admitted to St. Richard's Hospital, where he was placed in a coma. So here's this guy here. The IT analyst is still on the road to recovery. Mr. Jackson said, I quickly deteriorated, and within 24 hours I was unable to use my arms or even swallow. I was delirious and drifting in and out of consciousness. At this point, the doctors did not know what was happening, but they knew they had to do something quickly. I was moved to intensive care and placed on a ventilator and effectively switched off in a coma for 10 days to give myself the best chances of survival and the time to work out what was happening. So basically, this guy could have died from this condition. You know, his life was threatened by this, yeah? But what does he do? Does he say, you know what, man, by the grace of God, I'm still alive? No. Does he give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahshai for having mercy on him? No. And I don't expect him to, because I suspect this dude's an Edomite. If I'm wrong, Salakia. But even if he isn't an Edomite, he's still being judged. So let's keep going. It says medics discovered he had difficulty walking because his immune system had attacked his spinal cord and subsequently left him paralysed from the neck down. That's some judgment right there, boy. And it says the keen windsurfer suffered muscle wastage and lost all the strength in his core. But how I brought judgment on his ass. So it says, once he was woken out of his coma and showed signs of movement in my arms and feet, so was weaned off the ventilator and feeding tubes. However, Mr. Jackson had suffered muscle wastage and lost all the strength in his core, so needed specialist treatment to aid his recovery. This is some bad journalism here. It should say aid his recovery. I guess someone didn't spell check this. Anyway, it says he was transferred to It says he was transferred to Donald Wilson House, the hospital's neuro rehabilitation service, where he received 24-hour nursing care, a private room, daily physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. He said physio started immediately. Yeah, this looks like an Edomite right here. Mr. Jackson will raise funds by taking in a 5k run. See, this is the thing. All you Edomites ever want to do is look like you're charitable people by running for this or walking for that or doing this, that, and the other. But you ain't doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All you're doing is folly, man. What are you doing to wake up the elect? I mean, obviously, it's not your lot to wake up the elect because you're Edomites. So, you know what I mean? Edomites are going to do what Edomites are going to do. But the whole point is that folly is setting great dignity in this kingdom. And it's because this society is run by you Edomites. You know, you don't do anything right. You do everything off according to the scriptures. So let's keep going in this article. It says, I could only manage a few minutes at first, but with all the attention I showed strong signs of recovery. In just under 2 months, they taught me to sit, eat, speak clearly, transfer to wheels by myself, transfer to wheelchairs by myself, stand, brushing my teeth, get into cars from a wheelchair, and greatest of all, to be able to walk again. So basically, this guy had to relearn how to do practically everything. And basically, I want to bring out an account of the Apostle Paul when he was knocked off the horse, to show the difference between the spirit of an Edomite and the spirit of a man of the elect in his truth. So luckily, let me find this precept. Yeah, found it. Right, so Acts chapter 9 verse... It's lucky. Acts chapter 9 and... Bear me a second, Akim. It's lucky. Acts chapter 9. I'm going to get Acts chapter 9, yeah? Alright. It's lucky. Acts chapter 9 and 1. And it says, and Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest. And they desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were of men or of women, he might bring them bound into Jerusalem. And he journeyed, and he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined around about him a light from heaven. And he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahushua, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he, trembling and astounded, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise, go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. And the men which journeyed with him stood speechless, hearing a voice, but seeing no man. And Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man, but they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. And he was 3 days without sight. So basically, Yahushua blinded him. And it says he was 3 days without sight and did neither eat nor drink. And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias. And to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise, and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus, for behold, he prayeth. So basically, even though Saul was blind, he was praying. So this shows that he was a man of faith. And that's something that Edomites never do and can't do. Because this man was in a coma, The Most High was jacking him up, wasting away his muscles and shit. When he came out of his coma, he couldn't move. He couldn't do anything for like 2 months. But, was he praying to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? Was he being humble and being repentant? No. Guy was being a damn fool. But again, that's the nature of an Edomite, because the Most High ain't dealing with Esau. So no matter how much Esau prays, he ain't going to get no mercy from the Most High. But I'm just pointing this out to show that the Edomites are the most unspiritual people on the planet. Yeah. So going back to this account, let's go Acts 9 and 12, and it says, and have seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hand on him that he might receive his sight. Then Ananias answered the Lord. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he hath done to thy saints at Jerusalem, and here he hath authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will shew him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. And Ananias went his way and entered into the house, and putting his hands on him, said, Brother Saul, the Lord, even Yahushua, that appeared unto thee in the way, as thou camest, have sent me, that thou mightest receive thy sight and be filled with the Holy Spirit. And immediately there fell from his eyes as it were had been scales, and he received his sight, and forthwith he arose and was baptized. And when he received meat, he was strengthened. Then when Saul certain days with the then was Saul certain days with the disciples which were at Damascus, and straightway he preached of Yahushua HaMashiach in the synagogues that he is the Son of the Most High. So basically, after Saul was humbled by this horrible experience where the Most High jacked him up, he wrote from that, and he knew, I have to do the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and from that day forth he was preaching the gospel. Whereas this Edomite, he was jacked up, and let's see how he was jacked up by the Most High. And let's see what he does afterwards. Yeah, he goes, I could only manage a few minutes at first, but with all the attention I showed strong signs of recovery. In just under 2 months they taught me to sit, eat, speak clearly, transfer to my wheelchairs by myself, stand brushing my teeth, get into cars from a wheelchair, and greatest of all, to be able to walk again. Mr. Jackson, who is still on the road to a full recovery, is now hoping to raise funds for Donald Wilson by taking part in the Goodwill Motor Racing Circuit 5K run. See, this is what you Edomites do, man. You never say, you know what, man, I have to hang my head low and say all praise and all glory unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. No, you'll try and take credit for everything yourself. Like, oh, you know, this medical institution healed me, so I'm going to do a run to raise money for them because it was all in their power. You fucking Edomites, man, make me sick. So unspiritual. So here he is, damn devil. Again, as you can see, his t-shirt's white, but what colour is his skin? His skin's red. Therefore, that was his name, Edom. Yeah. So let's keep going. It says, I have done. Here we go. Look at this, the pride of this devil. I have everything to thank Donald Wilson for, as I've recovered my mobility and a near normal quality of life. He said, do you see that? This devil. I have everything to thank Donald Wilson for, not I have everything to thank Yahweh Shai for. Damn Edomites, man. Donald Wilson are not fully funded and rely on donations for equipment. I would like to say thank you and raise money for them. See, same shit. It may not sound far, but it's a miracle that I can even attempt this. To make a donation, click here. So let me get some precepts out and close this thing out. Let me see what I want to bring out. Probably the same precepts I brought out in the other videos, because it's the same topic really I'm going into. Yeah, Proverbs 1 and 7 is a good one. There we go. Proverbs 1 and verse 7. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Yeah. These people are children of fools. Again, going into Job 30 and 1. Yeah, this is Job, it says, 30 and 1, it says, but now they that are younger than I have me in division. This is speaking about the Edomites, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former time, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men, they cried after them as a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, and under nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men, and they were viler than the earth. So basically, you Edomites are children of fools, you're children of base men, and you've got no knowledge or appreciation for the real truth of reality, which is governed by the truth of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Now, there's one more precept I want to bring up before I close this, Lord willing, if I'm able to. Let me find it, hold on. Yeah, here we are. It's Deuteronomy 32 and 39 I want. Here we are. This is Yahweh speaking. It says, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So it's basically the Most High brought judgment on this guy to make him paralyzed. Let me get one more precept. Yeah. This is Hebrews chapter 10 and 31. There we go. It says it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the Most High. Yeah? And that's the bottom line, man. Judgment goes out every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month of every year. From Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, judgment's always going out. But no matter how much judgment is brought upon these Edomites, they never humble themselves and say, you know what, man, Salakia Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. No, they believe that, oh, it was the doctors who healed them, or it was, luck or some other kind of shit. But this is the thing, Esau's not meant to, he wasn't created to be righteous, he was created to be wicked. So ultimately, he's just doing what he's doing. But when you've got spiritual eyes, you start to see this shit and you're like, you know what, man, Esau's got to go, man. Uneasy Esau's got to go. Little in-joke there. But yeah, hopefully that essence been edifying, and Lord willing, if I find any more of these kind of stories, if the Spirit has it, I'll bring them out, because I just find it very interesting to observe, because when you know the truth of the scriptures, you can really look at the nations and you can see that the Bible isn't lying about like the certain traits that certain nations have. Like, you can see the spirit of an Edomite, like you can see the spirit of a Jake, you can see the spirit of a Moabite. You know what I mean? You start to see these things with spiritual eyes. So, Lord willing, this has been edifying. And so I say, once again, giving all praise and all glory unto Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and a sincere shalom to all you Akim pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth and in sincerity. And as always, until the next time I'm able to do another lesson, Lord willing, I'll say shalom.